Hello.
Hiya, Tom. How are you, mate?
I'm very well indeed. And Fraser Watson, hello.
Hi, Tom. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. So another busy week. Well, it's gone by in a flash. Another busy week of sport and a excellent first half of the Pure Sports Show with
Yeah.
interviews from all manner of people. It's been fantastic. And one individual that he's literally just finished talking before the news, so we're gonna mention him again later on. But what an epic challenge that's going to be, Fraser. You're no stranger to the coastal path, and what he's doing is doubling it.
Yeah. I mean, I do little sections of it. I certainly don't walk all the way around it and all the way back. No, Stephen Roberts, remarkable individual, what he's doing actually in the face of what he diagnosed with the last year. And like you say, we'll rightly highlight that later on.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later on. And then, Gordon, what was your highlight of sport over the weekend? I like to start off like this.
Well, obviously, with my interview with Chris O'Sullivan, I was at the big game at the weekend. Top versus second, Merlin's Bridge and Goodwick. And, it was a bit feisty in the first game where the Bridge won 3-2 at Phoenix Park and 4 players got sent off. But there was no players sent off at the Bridge this Saturday, and to be fair, Goodwick played really well. They got 2 early goals, and they could have had a couple others. The Bridge never really got going until the second half, and when they did, they looked quite dangerous. They scored in the 87th minute. 17-year-old Henry Thomas managed to bag a goal, and then Goodwick looked a little bit nervous then. Ooh. And Di Davis, I shouldn't name and shame him, but Di, you missed a sitter to get an equaliser, mate. That could have been a point. But on the fair balance of play, I think Goodwick deserved their just rewards. They've cut the lead at the top now to just 2 points. So it was a really interesting Saturday.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to delving into this. I'm sure that Stephen's got something to say as well about that fixture. Fraser, back over to you. What was your highlight of sport over the weekend?
Well, I was honeymooning in Amsterdam, so that doesn't mean I still wasn't checking things from afar. So it'd have to be, if I was being brutally honest, it was the beep on my phone which came through to say Liam Cullen had put Swansea 2-1 back up after Sunderland had equalised, and then the later beep, the notification that Ollie Cooper had made it 3-1. So yeah. It was a limited sporting weekend where I was, but a very nice one all the same, and some nice news to look on from back home.
All jokes aside, Fraser, it's great to see Liam now starting to get a few first-team games. I think he scored about 4 goals in
4 in 5 league.
Yeah, exactly, and a couple of assists. Yeah. He's been knocking on the door for a little while, but now he seems to be, hopefully, a first-team regular. What do you think? They're playing tomorrow night in the FA Cup as well, aren't they?
Yeah, it's the window he's been waiting for, Gord. We've known for a long time Liam, he has good movement, he has a good work rate, and he's capable of a late cameo role, but it's a cutthroat business. Those sort of things, when you're a professional footballer and a striker in the Championship, don't keep you at a club. What he's doing now, as you just mentioned there, starting games, making assists, and scoring not just goals, scoring pivotal goals. 4 goals in 5 games, I think. 3 of those goals now have been critical to Swansea City getting a result. 2 of them being critical to them getting a win. He's scoring big goals at big moments now. And that's the sort of thing which gets you noticed in the Championship.
Yeah, he's needed a manager to have a little bit of faith in him as well. And to be fair, is it Martin Russell, is it? Yeah. He is actually, he's actually showing a little bit of faith in Cullen now. So obviously he must be doing the business in training. He's obviously doing it on the pitch. So hopefully we can see him moving on to bigger and better things.
Well, that's exactly the bit I was going to say. There was a lot of upset that Ollie Cooper was a late addition to a Wales squad. They're both performing very well for Swansea. Could he be donning the shirt, Fraser?
It'll be a serious consideration now if this is going to be some kind of rebuilding era where young players are used and we're looking to the future, and he's in form and scoring goals in the Championship. I mean, traditionally, Wales have not ignored form players in the Championship, so you think he would very much be a name in the frame for the March and February games, certainly.
Well, he's been bred for it, Fraser. As you know, he's come through every age group. Yeah. He knows what the setup is all about and what international football is all about. So I'm, got my fingers crossed and everything else that he will be considered in the Welsh squad for the future.
I'm very confident he'll be capped soon whether it becomes sooner or later.
Yeah, no, hopefully. And the disputes in the paper, Kilgetty or Tenby?
I went to school in Tenby, but he got roots in Kilgetty, so there you go.
I love that. And then just a bit of national stuff. Stephen saying great win for the Man City good. There you go. Some solidarity with another red shirt there from Stephen. There he goes, back on the screen.
I'm just upset that Ben isn't here because he was on about relegation in the first 2 games of the season. But there you go.
I'm sure he'll have lots to say when he comes back. Sticking with football though, Fraser Gordon, it was his highlight of the weekend. He was there. Just how big of a result is that for Goodwick, the Goodwick v Bridge match?
It was important in the context of what's gone on lately, because they dropped this point against Clarby the week before, and a couple of weeks before that they dropped 3 points. They'd lost at home to the Bridge, and you can't really, although we keep talking about twists and turns and there'll be a backlog games at the end of the season, history has shown you can't afford to drop too many. Goodwick, of course, because of the anomaly of what happened towards the end, the deducted points, actually lost their title without losing a game. That just shows that there's little room to slip up, and now there's 3 teams in the mix as opposed to the 2 there were last year. So yeah, huge result for them to go there, and when they had to do that, they've got another tough one, I think. Not this Saturday. They've got St. Dishon's at home this Saturday. That's another one they look to be really looking to get 3 points from the pull away. But yeah, they needed to. If they didn't get a result there, you would have had a little sense of maybe wheels coming off in the league. So they needed that to redress balance, if nothing else. And another twist as well. They would have thought they were having a favour, didn't they? Hakin trailing with 5-6 minutes to go. We've seen the likes of Hakin and Goodwick do it so many times over the years. Hakin especially 1-0 down, turn that into a 2-1 win. That could be pivotal at the end of the year as well. We keep saying it's too early, but all these little moments do add up.
Yeah, it's it leads to an exciting. You just said redress the balance there. It's exciting that it's a 3-pronged balance with Merlin's Bridge, who have over-exceeded this season, Gordon.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be a 2-horse race, and to be fair to Jay Kennedy and his team, the Wizards have done very well this season. Even after the opening game of the season, they lost to Carew, didn't they? But since then, their only other defeat is against Goodwick in the league, so they're capable of beating any team on the day. And to be fair, they played some decent football this season. I've seen them a few times, but Hakin will always be there or thereabouts. You can never. They'll be there come the end of the season. I think they got 5 games in hand. If they win all of them, they go 3 points top. So that's how quickly things can change. It'll be hard for Hakin at the end of the season, playing the 3 games a week or whatever it will be. But they've done it before, and they're capable of doing it again. So never write the Vikings off.
No, and of course
Carew stabilised as well now, good, fair to say. I don't think they had a struggle. They went there and won 6-0.
Yeah, Kerry's done a decent side. He's drafted in a couple of different players, and it seems to work. They'll have a test on Saturday, Fraser. Are they playing Hakin Saturday?
Yeah, Hakin, I believe.
Yeah, well, exactly. Now that will be a real test for Carew to see how the results of late have been good, but it's when you come up against as we just said, the big 3. That's when you need to get a point or win to make sure that you can build confidence and build for the season. So yeah, fair play to Carew. Their test is on Saturday, so we'll see how they get on.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And we don't often find the time to do this, but I'm just looking at the Division 2. And like we're coming towards this tail end of the season. There's games in hand. There's a bit of excitement and expectation about the end. But I'm just looking at the strength and depth of Hakin and Moncton.
Incredible.
In Division 2, topping that table, which means that the team that would get promoted haven't even necessarily topped their division. It's a daunting task going up to that. Heading up that Division 2 and looking at the prospect of going up again.
Hakin have had a good Division 2 side for a lot of seasons. I mean, Trigger Howell's their manager, who I do actually see him work. He does a splendid job with the seconds, and he has got some really talented youngsters with a blend of older players as well, who've had a lot of first team experience. And their youth policy, we spoke about it before, the youth policy at Hakin is exceptional. They bring through a lot of talented kids. Many of them will not play for Hakin later on, but what they do produce a lot of good standard players, quality players. So it doesn't surprise me that Hakin are top in the second division. It doesn't surprise me at all.
No.
And Moncton again.
Milford United bang in the mix as well. I win 6-0 away.
Yeah.
Andrew Pearcoin always solid, always up there. That was really top half Division 2 team. So yeah, you're right, Tom. Good finish coming in that one too.
Yeah.
And then sticking with football, actually, the draw has been made, isn't it? For this is the Senior Cup, isn't it? So Hakin have alleviated some pressure on their running now in these next couple of weeks and months. But Fraser, give us those fixtures for us.
Yeah, certainly. I'll just bring them up now. So we've got Kilgetty playing Merlin's Bridge. Interesting one, especially at Kilgetty if it ever dries out in time anyway. But yeah, Tenby Camrose as well, a complete non-Division 1 affair. Camrose, of course, Tenby won that Senior Cup.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Back, I think, in the 2013-14 season, and then it's never hit those heights again. Went downhill pretty much after that pretty quickly. After we said Moncton Penna, always feisty, that quarter final there. That one's at home at Moncton, and no shortage of yet goals or yellow cards.
Ironically, Chris Lloyd is manager of Moncton now, where he was manager of Penna for so many years, and actually won the Senior Cup with them.
Won't go and notice that, I don't think, Lord. And then good at Carew, and I think again a cup game with Carew actually won at Goodwick last year, where a couple were sent off again. So, Senior Cup quarterfinals. Yeah, the Hakin thing probably inevitable in the end. Obviously, there was that registration mix-up they had, which left so many players left so many players ineligible. It would have meant playing a complete reserve side, and then had they done that, they would have been really struggling to put aside in Division 2 Cup. So I wonder if maybe they've cut their losses on that one there.
I think they have, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. The date hasn't been given for that, but it's something for everyone to look forward to. So we'll preview that when we've got a date, and let us know if you're actually watching or listening. 01437 764455 is the WhatsApp number, or you can comment as we're live on our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube as well. And but before we go, we've got Matthew Freeman joining us from Sport Pembrokeshire. He's going to be chatting to us about the challenges ahead and his aspirations. But before we do that, Fraser, rugby in the county, some big scores.
Yeah, not all on the right end of them either. So I've spoken a lot about Pembroke season. This year, Gordon was saying last week that really they do need to go down, and in reality they do, but the restructure looks like it's going to stop that at the moment. But yeah, they went to Llangena and shipped 108 points, and when that's happening at that level, it starts to become a real concern. Then you're used to seeing those scores maybe in the lower divisions where things can be a little more lopsided, but in reality you shouldn't be in Division 1. You shouldn't be in the third tier of Welsh amateur rugby, and having that sort of scoreline put on us. They've got great problems now. They're going to need players to dig in. Traditionally they don't. I have to say that in Pembrokeshire rugby, not at Pembroke specifically, but we've seen it so many times before with teams going up to a harder league and players suddenly run to the hills. So I hope they do dig in and put some kind of run together and finish the season with some sort of respectability, because there's still quite a way to go, and they're facing a very harrowing latter half unless they can pull things together pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely. And then Whitland, a little bit of a closer scoreline, but still being doubled on the day.
They let a couple of late points in, apparently, but it was a much improved performance by the Borderers, to be fair, who are bringing through quite a bit of young talent, especially in the backs as well. And I believe Benji Kirk got married, their captain, at the weekend. So there was a few boys missing due to the fact that they were celebrating his nuptials.
Oh, well, congratulations first and foremost.
Yeah, congratulations, Benji.
Yeah, but we go down a division. We just mentioned Tenby in the football, Tenby in the rugby doing well, and actually closing out T. Christ, not letting them get past any points.
27-0. That's a good win for the Seasiders, Fraser. Fair play. They're doing quite well this season, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, we spoke to John Evans in pre-season, and he was very much, I wouldn't say confident, but quite bullish about what he was targeting. He slid towards the lower half in the last couple of years, and he wanted a top 4 finish minimum, and in fact 4th place is where they're at the moment. I think they pushed Pontedilla, who are currently top, all the way at home the week before. They were disappointed to lose. They got a bonus point from that, and they've taken that win now. So yeah, Tenby are going well, and it's just a case with Tenby, and I think this current crop do seem to be building towards that. It's always a case of whether they can stick together. They are a club where players have traditionally fluctuated and filtered in and out, as Gordon knows. It's always been that way, but this group have stayed together for a couple of years now. They do seem to be building. It is a young side. It's not just a cliche, and I think they look good for the years to come. But there's no reason why they can't be in the race this season. And looking at the table now, they are technically in fourth. They have played more than the top three, but they're only 2 points off third, and we still don't know yet how many are going to go up. The rumour is it's going to be 2 or 3 in each division. So look, they're bang in the mix.
Yeah, it's exciting. And then, Division 3 West A, which feels like 2 divisions in one at the moment as well. Some more big scores being put against, in particular, Langham, who weren't able to even get a penalty. And also St David's. What's happened to their form as well, Fraser?
Yeah, they Larner
Larner a decent side.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And they got the bonus point for half time. So David's actually dug in and kept 28-0 at half time, 28-0 when it finished. I think you saw any photos of the Larn pitch. I'm not sure they got much 4G up there. It's not like the Pembrokeshire Sports. It looked like a mud bath. A fair play for them to getting it on, but crucially, St Clair's winning at home, that bonus point win against Haverfordwest. They do look the side to beat. Looking at the table now, I think in reality it's going to be between them and Lampeter to go up top. So they're the 2 strongest teams in that division, certainly. Langham, unfortunately, are going to have to stay patient and dig in. They've got a very good youth team who are winning games. Beat Narberth actually on Friday night. 3 penalties.
Yeah, well done there.
Fletcher Picton,
who scored for
Making
Nayland the week before football as well. So he's going to have to make his mind up, Colin. He's going to play football or rugby. I know that dilemma.
Making football and rugby. Look, Langham have got to stay patient. Hope that those youth boys come through in a couple of years' time, bolster that first team, get experience. It's a waiting game for them, but not for the first time. They've dug in before, to be fair.
And it's good to see the All Blacks win as well. Fraser Athlani brother, I see 45-22, and centre George Williams, Matthew's son, crossed for a hat-trick of tries, so that was good to see him back. And also Luke Griffiths-Dawes went over for a couple, playing in the prop position.
Look, Nayland, I think, when at full strength the last couple of years, have always been a very good team. I think their problem is, and I think they'd readily admit it, their problem is getting a full strength side out and getting a strong side out on a regular basis. They seem to be doing that more so at the moment, and they do have experience there, and they do have youngsters coming through. George Williams, who perhaps not a youngster anymore, they've always had, they've always had backs now with the potential to unleash a lot of rugby, and they're doing well. It's a good win for them, and it's good to see from their point of view.
Yeah. And then you mentioned there Haverfordwest. I'm going to return actually to football.
Welsh League now, isn't it?
Welsh, yeah.
We forgot about them, didn't we?
No,
we didn't, guys.
No, not at all. But there's 2 players gone out, 1 player come in, but they've missed out again on that top 6, Gordon.
Yeah, it's disappointing. We've said it for the last couple of years that's the holy grail, is to get into that top 6. But unfortunately, they were a little bit light due to injuries, players unavailable, and the results not quite going their way. I mean, Tony Pennock has been in the game long enough to understand that he needs a bit more strength and depth. If the chairman can allow a few more extra pennies to be spent in January, as you said, they've offloaded Ryan George is one of them, and Ivan Watkins, 2 lads have gone, and they brought in another guy who's had previous experience at West Ham, and not in the first team, I might add, but played out in Iceland as well, a defender. So they brought him in. Whether there'll be any more players coming in will be interesting, but they just have to do well in this next set of games, try and finish at the top end. There are a European playoff place for it as well, so
which they nearly got, which they nearly clinched
which
last
they
year.
nearly did last season. So we'll be hoping that the Bluebirds can put a bit of form together. But firstly, they're going to play Connors Quay Nomads this Saturday on the Meadow in their last game in phase 1 of the league system, so that'll be a tough one as well down the Meadow.
Yeah, of course they met Connors Quay in phase 2 because of the points deduction
exactly.
as well. So it's a funny old division, that one, isn't it? Well, all the best of luck to the Bluebirds. We are going to take a moment. If you've got any thoughts on the weekend's football or rugby, then please do let us know. And more importantly, we've got Matthew Freeman joining us from Sports Pembrokeshire to talk about ambitions, challenges, and opportunities and difficulties that they're going to be finding this year, in particular with costs of everything, not just the cost of living. So don't go anywhere. We are going to take a moment, and just very quickly, Cole Picton's just come in. Well, Gord, I'd prefer him to play rugby if it was my choice, but who knows with Fletch?
It's not your choice, Colin. Leave the boy alone. Let him get on with it.
Yeah, get hold of him. I disagree.
He's got the talent. He's got the talent. It's up to him. We'll be back. We're going to take a few moments. It's coming up to 25 minutes past 8 o'clock here on the Pure Sport Show with Eaton Evans and Morris Solicitors.
Eaton Evans and Morris Solicitors.